Hello, this is Susan Fouché with Voices for Learning. It is Audiobook Wednesday, and in this video, I am going to show you my template that I give to all of my authors that I use as their corrections sheet. So when they are listening to my recording, if I have made a mistake, which I promise you I've made lots of mistakes, you will too, they can just type in the corrections in this correction sheet. I'll show you that template that I use that works really, really, really well. And this will just simply help you guide your new or inexperienced author or even experienced author through the correction process. In this video, you're going to learn some fabulous secrets to success as an audiobook narrator, along with some excellent ways to stay on your author's shortlist. That is always the goal, to not do so many auditions. In fact, don't do any auditions. Goodness gracious, why would you want to do that? And all while making money narrating books. It's a fabulous job. Why not? So here we go. All right, so here is an actual corrections document that an author filled out for me for this amazing book that I narrated called Caught by the Billionaire. So, in this particular document, what I ask the author to do is put in every single chapter. Whenever they hear a mistake, they need to put in, like, for example, here's chapter 1, they need to put in the timestamp. So at 6 minutes and 44 seconds on page 5, we heard Stephen, who is the male narrator, he had this sentence. She had once called it, and there were some words missing. And so the author just kind of like put in, what she heard that was wrong. And then same thing at 7 minutes. And then at 7 minutes and 53 seconds on page 6, the author wrote that, or typed in that, the editor had the trailer at the very end of the chapter, that that pad was more than 5 seconds. And so I was actually really glad that she caught that. And then here, chapter 2, no edits. Chapter 3, no edits. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7, she wrote in that at 3 minutes and 58 seconds on page 52, Susan, and the character that I did was Nina. And the author just typed in the sentence and just told me that I pronounced something incorrectly. And so you can just kind of see, just go on and on and on. And I like to use highlighting whenever I go through, because there were 2 narrators in this book. There was me and there was Stephen. And I just went ahead and highlighted all the ones that I did. I, highlighted the ones that Stephen had, and it just kind of helped me move along. So as you can see, this template is just basically just telling the author, have the chapter, have the timestamp, and then up here at the top, I give the author some instructions that say, here's the example, the chapter number, and then the timestamp, and then whoever the person is, if it's a dual narration, because a lot of these romance, audiobooks that I did and that I've done are dual or duet narration, where there's a male narrator and a female narrator. And that's just kind of the way they are. So we've got to differentiate whose line is it. And then I also have right here, just a note, always write the narrator's name on dual narration projects. Always write the entire sentence, including the missing or incorrect line, which is really important. That way I can just quickly go through and I don't have to necessarily even look at the script. I can just go through and redo the sentence. And always provide an accurate timestamp. So this is just always, always, always what I use. Here is a blank template that I go ahead and send to the author. So obviously it doesn't have the chapter, the corrections that are already in it, the mistakes already in it, but this is just what I send. It's got the directions up at the top, and then I just kind of fill it in a little bit. If there's a prologue, chapter 00, prologue, chapter 1, 2, just to let the author know, like, this is just kind of how I want it to look. And sometimes I'll even go ahead and send them a a correction sheet that's already been filled out, so they can kind of just see how it should look. And there's just no questions about how to do it. This way, when you have an inexperienced author, or even an author who is experienced, who's published a lot of books, it just helps you to communicate with them. And so they know exactly what you need to be successful. And I always recommend that you step out in front of the problem and just say, I know there's going to be corrections because it's a, 500-page book, 15-hour audiobook, and within those 15 hours, I'm sure there's going to be at least one mistake. This way you step out in front of the problem and you just guide your author through the process on how to best handle you and how to best handle your work. And I've seen corrections templates be in Excel files. I think Excel files do work, but I do just want to say this, Excel is not for everybody. Excel is the spreadsheet application, Microsoft application. And if you're not familiar with Excel, it can be a little tricky. I'm 100% familiar with Excel. I don't have a problem with Excel, but I have worked with some authors who say they are like allergic to Excel. And I actually completely understand. I have dealt with different applications where I'm like, oh crap, I just deleted half the thing and I don't even know what I did. So I recommend just staying with Word, keeping it simple, some kind of text document rather than some convoluted spreadsheet. Just allow them to, simply type in this. Authors are used to Word. They're used to word processing. This is just going to make sense for them. You can also put this in a Google Docs spreadsheet if they are okay with Google Docs. Not all authors like Google Docs. Sometimes you're just going to have to email this back and forth to them and just kind of deal with it that way. But the Google Docs is really nice because they can just type it in Google Docs. You can just see it if that's okay with them. If they don't like Google Docs, then just don't worry about it. But anyway, this is a best practice. I think it works really, really well. If you use something else, let me know what you use that works, because I'd love to know how you handle your corrections. But I hope this works for you. If you are looking for more coaching, more help with audiobooks, in the description is an amazing ACX online course that was created by my friend Anthony Pica. It is so good and it will help you tremendously. Even if you are a, somewhat seasoned narrator, it will give you some great ideas on how to up your game. The goal is no auditions. The goal is where we're not auditioning as much anymore, where we're just getting work. That is what we want. And when you employ things like this corrections worksheet, you step out in front of the problems, this will get you to the top of your author's shortlist 100% of the time, I promise you. Make you easy to work with, make them easy to work with, and your lives will be so easy, and you'll have these wonderful books that just fall in your lap. How wonderful is that? So have a great day. Happy Wednesday. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.